Hi, welcome back to Engine Shop Joe. I'm going to be talking about parts on engines in the next few videos. I had a comment from someone that's got their own tractor, said it'll be paid off soon, and they watch the channel so that they can learn to work on their own truck. I think that's great. That's part of the reason that I do this. It's a big part of it, so that you can take care of everything you can on your own and save money, because everybody needs to save their pennies today for sure. Okay, so to start off with the parts thing, I wanted to talk, this isn't really about the engines, but about the new Cummins parts labels that you might see on their packaging. And this is something they're going to because there's so much intellectual theft going on. There's so many knockoff parts being made. Today, they can make labels that look identical to the Cummins parts labels. So it's one thing if you go in and you know you're buying a non-genuine part. It's another thing if you think you're buying a genuine part and it ends up being not genuine. And then when you go to get warranty on it because it failed early within the normal Cummins warranty period, you find out that there is no warranty on that part. So you've lost your initial money and any chance of getting recovered. So let's take a look at the new label system and what it means, how it works. So here's the important things you need to know. Up in the top left in that black bar on the label, you see that gold colored emblem. Well, that's a hologram. Right next to it is a QS code, and you can scan that QS code and it'll tell you that you've got a genuine part. You can also look at that label, that hologram, I should say, and you're going to see a video in a second of me rotating that label north to south to east to west, and you're going to see numerals appear and disappear on that hologram. Then down below by part number, that is the official part number of the part, and whenever you see an RX after it, that just means it's a reconditioned part. Now let me say right off that sometimes you'll buy a new part and it has an RX after it. Let's say a sensor. They might make a new part number exhaust gas pressure sensor and it'll have an RX after it. They do that because by law they can charge less money for a reconditioned part. So that's how they control their costs when they sell you a part that's it could be brand new, but they sell it as a reconditioned part. If you're buying an injector, you could see XX, RX, or PX. So XX injectors are the cheapest, and they are mostly reused parts. The only parts that are put in are the ones that actually fail an inspection. RX, they change on mechanical injectors the barrel and the plunger, and then all the other parts are checked and used over. And then PX, it has a new barrel, a new plunger, a new cup, and if it's an ISX 871 injector, it'll have a new timing plunger assembly and internal timing plunger in it. So the PX injectors generally have a 2-year warranty. The RX have a 1-year warranty, and the XX are usually 6 months with no mileage. On down the tag, the date is the date that was boxed. Then you have the quantity, of course. MDC is the place where it was packaged. MDC happens to be one of Cummins' big warehouses. It's called MDC. There's another one called IRC. The total weight of the package. This particular package has a DEF dosing pump. The 7304 part number, looking at the part number up there, is a 12-volt dosing pump. And of course, then you've got under pump doser. You've got it in 2 different languages. And then origin is the, you can well, if you're in the Cummins system, you can scan that to see the origin of the part, where it was manufactured. I believe that's what that is. So that's the tag. Let's take a look now at the hologram and see what you should see when you roll that hologram around. Now I'm going to start scanning or turning that label so you can see all the numbers that show up in that hologram. And underneath you see those letter codes, G7H8, JK, J9K. That would be the key that you would put in. So this is a test key that I put in. And at the top, that stretched out bar, there's a QR code. It's long and narrow stretched out. That's what I scanned. And then down on the bottom left, that's where my phone went to, or your iPad will go to, or your Samsung pad will go to, whatever. And it works with Android or iOS. And the first screen you'll see is that. It'll ask you, if you tilt it, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4 and the side dots. If you say yes, the next thing it does is it has you put in the blue code that you see. That'll be different on every hologram. And then you click check. And then on the right, if it checks out, it will say, good news, your product appears to be authentic. And then if you click restart, it takes you back to the far left screen where you have to do the 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. So that's the parts verification and the new parts labels. And again, they did it because of theft and brand theft and selling of subpar parts. And we talked a few weeks ago about exhaust gas pressure sensors. You only want to buy a Cummins made exhaust gas pressure sensor because that's probably one of the most powerful sensors on the engine. And it does a lot of different functions just besides checking what the exhaust gas pressure is in a manifold. It has a direct effect on the turbochargers, your boost on your VGT. It has a direct effect on EGR flow. It also tells the ECM whether or not to log certain fault codes, whether injectors are firing. There's a host of things that sensor does. So some parts you might be able to get away with buying aftermarket to save a little money. Other ones you don't want to. Okay, so now you ought to check out a parts label. The next few videos we're going to be talking about parts on the engine, what they're for, why they're there, and we'll see if we can learn a little bit on Engine Shop Joe. If you like this video, click the thumbs up and please subscribe. That helps other people to see it when you do that. Thanks. Have a good day. See you next time.